Dirty, dusty day. What are you doing? What do you think about this drizzling rain? What do you think about this drizzling rain? Huh? What do you think about it? This ain't nothing to you. You was a Louisiana dog for like 3 years. You seen way more rain than this. This is a non-rain day in Louisiana. Huh. Oh, hello. He was born in Texas and spent more years of his life in Louisiana than any other place. So he's a southern dog. YouTube Atheist 2012 title. It's a lyric from a song. Where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? It's like, who sings that shit? Belinda Carlisle. I don't know. Anyway, I need a hero, yeah. Bonnie Tyler, thank you. That song got inspiration from the second Shrek movie, yeah. It gained inspiration from the second Shrek movie, even though it existed before Shrek was even conceptualized. Shrook. See any new animals in your yard? Nothing new. I think I told you guys about the foxes. We've got at least a couple, maybe a mated pair of foxes living somewhere nearby. I don't know if they're actually on our property, but they they visit. They visit quite often. Have you ever seen the movie The Platform on Netflix? What's your thoughts on it? I haven't seen it. My power is out. I am angry. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That's right. Total eclipse of the heart. I don't think I'm quite high enough to sing a bunch of songs this morning, nor is my voice in any shape to do so. I'm just gonna have to not do it. Mine will be out in an hour. I got those rolling blackouts. Ooh. Look at you. Have I considered homesteading? No. No. I don't have any of the skills that would be required to live out in the fucking wilderness and shit. What shirt are you wearing? It's a Thanos was right shirt with the glove on it, the gauntlet thing. Peyton got me this shirt. This is one of the many shirts I own from Peyton. I didn't do roadie help for Morgan's bands. I did roadie help for a band called Spread Needle. They were a new metal band in the early 2000s. The guys in it, well, two of the guys in it were my next door neighbors. And we became really close friends just as neighbors. And then I'd ride with them, you know, to gigs and stuff and help them out. You'd use a Doomer hoodie right now? Well, go get one. Go snag yourself one. What are you waiting for? Did they sound like Limp Bizkit? Not really. Kind of screamy, kind of, you know, hard-nosed, screamy, going in and out of singing and screaming kind of new metal. We finally got our snowstorms here in Montana. It's literally snowless and in the high 30s most of this winter. Climate change is wild, yeah. What? A skinwalker. That'd be cool. I wish a skinwalker would come and kill me and take my place. Then I could like keep doing my job without having to do my job anymore. I'd be dead. I'm down with the skinwalker. Paul, are you okay? I think I'm going to give you 300 seconds, bro. I think that's going to be 300 seconds. Got any spare seconds you don't want, Paul? Yeah, here's 300 of them. Pass them out like fucking hotcakes. There you go. On my lunch hour right now, Paularino. How are you? You know. Concern trolling in 2021. It's more likely than you think. Tis more likely than you think. Oh, snap. Coffee? Thank you, baby. Do you have control over how long timeouts are? No, they're just standard 300 seconds. I should have control. Like, I would love some more granular features in, like, YouTube's moderation, which would allow me to, like, maybe time somebody out for the duration of the show.
So it's like a ban, but not.
It's like a ban for that show. It's like, you're being stupid, but I don't necessarily want to have to clear my ban list in a couple of weeks. So here, now you're gone for the rest of the show. That sort of thing, like, I'd use that all the time. Like, I'd probably make that standard for people to use instead of the ban if we had that. But we don't. So the ban is what it is. The ban is for people who can't, you know, who 300 seconds aren't going to help. Those are our two choices. Get that beard professionally trimmed. I don't want to trim my beard. I want my beard to grow floofy and large. You can time them multiple times, and I think it stacks. Does it?
It stacks, but you're not gonna fucking time someone 50 quadrillion.
Does it stack, though?
Yeah.
I think it just starts over the 300 seconds. I don't think it stacks.
I don't know. Let's see.
I'll have to like do it to you one of these days. Like, I'll unwrench you, time you out, and then time you out again.
Yeah.
and then we'll see how many seconds how long it takes for you to get your power
I
back.
think it stacks if different people do it, but maybe I'm wrong.
That's possible. I got a couple of people in here saying it stacks, so that's kind of nice. I should just have all present wrenches time people at once so they get like a good fucking half hour. Hey, Paul, do you think if Obama was the guy lefties thought he would be, aka the next FDR, Trump would have got elected? I feel like Trump was only elected because Obama was such a disappointment. You're starting to get it now. Yeah, you're starting to understand why the Democrats lose over and over and over and over and over again, and thus the people lose over and over and over and over again. Because they don't live up to even a fucking tenth of what they should be. And people get sick and tired of it. And so they vote for the other side, trying to send a fucking message. And then the other side fucks them. And they vote for the other side. It's that picture, again, that I had Amelia find for me one day. The car in the alleyway. It's like left, right, and this car sandwiched in this alleyway, all crunched up on both ends. And, you know, the lady inside is like, well, that didn't work. Try reverse again. That's America. Oh, damn. Darth Swader, he volunteered, so I'm going to time him out too. Let's see how much he gets. My grandmother was never a racist and was a two-time Obama voter who is now a Trump sycophant. That's strange. You're in a hellish blizzard? I know there's a lot of fucking snow going on in the country right now. It's like this like insane polar dip or whatever that's happened that's gone down the middle of the country basically, and it's bringing like below freezing wind chill to Texas, which is insane. Like I lived in San Antonio, Texas for a while. It never got anywhere near below freezing. Yeah, the polar vortex. Yeah. Spare a few seconds for a fellow American who's down on his luck. Rolling blackouts in Texas. We have a bit of snow. 18 right now. Gee, that's fucking crazy. Single digits this morning in Dallas. It's -4, but it's supposed to be in the 50s next week. Dude, that's an insane swing. That's totally insane. I guess global warming is a hoax after all. Yep. Fucking take that, science.
It's not global warming, it's climate change now.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. It's climate change. Well, then I guess they're right. I hate how despite all the snow, we're getting employers do not care and expect you to be at work anyway. I mean, yeah, if you're living in an area that is routinely getting snow, then employers have a right to expect you to be like on time anyway, because you live in an area where there's snow. Fucking commerce keeps going while there's snow.
Washington, for example, they had to shut down every single bus.
Right. Well, they don't have
snowplows
right.
available.
They don't have salt trucks. They don't have snow plows on the standby. They don't have this like Places that get constant snow, like Ohio or whatever, they've got trucks that go out and salt the roads to keep them from freezing over and to keep the snow from sticking to them. They got snow plows to come clear out snow drifts and shit off the main roads. They keep fucking commerce going. If you're living in fucking Texas right now and it's snowing, it's like you're not living in a place that has any infrastructure for that.
It's like when I was up in Washington, they'd cancel snow for like 2 inches.
I remember it snowed one time when I was in Bellevue.
Yeah.
And it basically shut down the city for that day. The snow didn't stick for longer than a day. It drifted off and blah, 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 blah. But that day, the city was basically like, eh. And it wasn't even that heavy of a snow. It was maybe a couple inches of snow came.
There's just nothing.
There's nothing in
Most
place.
of the snow stuff is over the mountains.
Right.
And they need it too.
Yeah. I mean, if Seattle needs it, over the mountains needs it. So I've just stayed home after that massive pileup in Dallas. I didn't hear about it. I was out of town yesterday. Paul used to live in an area in Texas without storm drains, and every heavy rain was an absolute massacre. Oh, flooding. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine a place in Texas with no storm drains, though. Like,
Maybe just shitty storm drains.
yeah. I mean, like, I lived in Texas. You need storm drains. You got to have them. It's fucking, it rains hard there. The thing I miss most about Texas is the lightning. Texas used to have these lightning storms that were unlike anything I've ever seen on the planet Earth anywhere. It would be like I could sit on my porch and just watch the sky, and every second there would be a bolt of lightning. Not necessarily striking the ground, but moving through the clouds, rippling through the clouds and shit. You could just sit and watch it. It's fucking insane. Never seen anything like that. I used to sit out on the back porch of my little apartment and just smoke weed and watch the sky for hours. I guess I just take that for granted. It is pretty great. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like it anywhere else in the United States, as far as I know. My first Texas thunderstorm, I thought there was some fucking thing going on. I had to ask Ashley, who was born and raised there, like, is this fucking normal? Like, or is something going on? Are we having some kind of fucking, like, extinction level event or something? She's like, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't stack, see? Dude came back 300 seconds. He got timed like 4 times. No stacky. That sucks. See?
Thank you for being our guinea pig.
Yeah, thanks for guinea pigging it. But now we know, and knowing is half the battle. I thought maybe it did too. Now we know. You ever seen colored lightning? No, not really. Not that I can think of. Used to get lightning storms and stuff in Louisiana too, but nothing like Texas. Nothing even close.
Fire, man.
Somebody might work out here.
I just haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
It just started.
Have you seen ball lightning? No. Lightning's crazy in Nevada. Yeah, I don't think I've been to Nevada, but I've never been in a lightning storm there, I guess. I saw one of those lightning storms when I went to New York and shat my pants first time in the USA.
Oh boy.
You shat your pants? No. Yeah, the USA's got some crazy. We got some weather, man.
Like the U.S., lots of empty lands that are just un, unbridled territory.
Yep, it's true. Given the fact that we're so fucking populous here and our cities have grown and expanded so much, there is still mostly nothing but empty fucking land in America. It gives you an idea of how fucking insanely huge this place is.
Like we took a day trip and
Yeah,
there's just
yeah.
nothing. It's,
Well, between where we started and where we ended up, nothing. Couple little fucking towns, just empty land. We had 3 tornadoes touch down at one time in a place that almost never has tornadoes. That's crazy. I've never been near, like, where I grew up, every once in a blue moon, we'd get like a tornado warning when a storm blew through. I've never been in a tornado before. That is terrifying to me. I used to have fucking nightmares about tornadoes. Like, natural disaster nightmares used to be a heavy feature when I was a kid. And I dreamed about tornadoes touching down near my house, multiple tornadoes being in the sky. And I've never seen one. I think I'd like to see one. I think I would like to do that storm chasing thing where you can like hire those people that chase after a fucking tornado so you can get an up close look at one. I think I would like to see a big ass fucking tornado one day. I live in the PNW, and we had one for the first time a few years ago. It was crazy. Yeesh. I would think you would have had nightmares about the big one in California. I did. My first memorable recurring nightmare was I guess, like in my mind, it was this. I would be standing out with my family looking at the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Now, this doesn't make sense if you know geography. The Sierra Nevadas, or the eastern coastal, or the eastern range in California. But I would be looking at that because it was very visible from where I grew up. You could see the snow-capped mountains very easily from my yard when I grew up. And I'd be standing out there with my family, and all of a sudden a big giant wave would crash over the top of those mountains. And I could see it coming. It makes no sense. There's no body of water large enough on that coast to do that, unless the Atlantic Ocean had been completely and utterly upheaved, like washed across the entire United States. But, when you're a little kid and you're dreaming, geography, I guess, is secondary. Yeah, I've lived through a number of earthquakes. I actually, not the last time I went back to visit my parents, but the time before, when we were in LA for the DFF meetup. No, yes. We were in LA for the DFF meetup. I came to visit my parents. We were sitting and watching a fucking TV show. And all of a sudden, it's a very strange feeling if you're in an earthquake that isn't like immediately obvious. You feel dizzy. It's like you get lightheaded and you're like, whoa, what the fuck happened? And then all of a sudden you realize that you're shaking like this, but you're not moving. And then usually about a second or two into it, people realize what's going on, and everybody kind of just like plants, and it just kind of like. I was there was in San Francisco when I was a kid. I can't remember the year. I think it was like 1988 or 89. I want to say it was like 89. There was a giant earthquake in San Francisco and destroyed a lot of the city. And I lived in the Central Valley of California, and I felt that in the morning. I was up, sitting on my couch. It shook so hard it knocked me off the couch. The ceiling fans in our house were doing this. I got knocked out of bed by an earthquake when we were in LA once. When I was a kid. We went to Disneyland for Christmas. and we got a little hotel near Disneyland, and an earthquake happened overnight. It didn't wake me up; it knocked me out of bed. That's what woke me up. I woke up laying on the ground, like, what the fuck? And my parents were like, "We just got an earthquake." We went out the next day, and there was a big crack in the sidewalk. I was like, "Whoa." So I've been in a number of earthquakes. It's not uncommon where I grew up to feel timblers, they call them, which are like distant earthquakes. But there's no fault line that runs through where I live, so, or where I grew up.
Or where we live now, too.
Or where we live now, yeah. I don't have to worry about earthquakes
we
here.
Didn't, let's move on to a fault line.
Yeah, let's sit right on a fault. I saw a massive wave of clouds coming from a complete straight line from the coast a few nights ago. It looked like a wave, yeah. Well, in California, the big fault that runs east of LA in the mountains east of LA that also runs up north is called the San Andreas Fault, and that's the one that scientists say eventually is going to go, and a chunk of California is going to be an island,
Isn't
basically.
It desert, basically, too.
Yeah, kind of. It's like scrubland desert. It's out in the middle of kind of a really dry foothill type of area. You can see it from the sky. It's like this puckered thing. And that's the one that scientists, since I was a little kid, have been saying, one day it's going to fucking slip real bad, and that could destroy LA, it could destroy San Francisco. I mean, like I said, in 88 or 89, whenever that last one was, it fucked up San Francisco. I remember there being video of the suspension bridges in San Francisco doing this shit. Fucking crazy. Destroyed a lot of buildings, killed a bunch of people, did millions of dollars in damage. But yeah, that fault line, when that one goes, I mean, they say on a long enough time scale that California is, or part of California, like Western California, is going to move into the ocean, which is going to allow the ocean to move inland in Central California. Central California used to be a big lake, like a big glacial lake. And so if, that fault were to separate enough to allow the ocean to get around those mountains, it would be that again. It would be just a big...
the groundwater, if it was a glacial lake for so long.
Yeah, it would be an inland, like an inland bay of the ocean around the side of the island that will be what's left of coastal California. Pretty crazy. There's also a fault line in the Pacific Northwest. I'm trying to remember what the name of it. It's called the North Pacific Subduction Zone.
Yeah, and that's like on the side of it, so it's more of like a tsunami risk than anything.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like if that happened, water would come in past Seattle. It would destroy the entirety of Seattle. It's actually happened before. Near Seattle, there's a petrified forest from the last time this happened, where it's got you can see all these petrified tree trunks that are the remnants of the last time this big fucking Lahar tsunami thing came. And that's like, that's underneath the ocean as I understand it, and it's two plates that are going like this, and Seattle's on this side, so that's why they call it the subduction zone, because it's slowly but surely moving underneath that, grinding underneath that, and if that slips, it displaces a bunch of water. Obviously, it's the same thing that happened in the tsunami in Thailand and all of that back in like 2006, was it? 7?
I feel like it was Indonesia, but
it was Thailand and Indonesia. Like Phuket got it the worst. That's a Thailand city. That's the city that the craziest fucking video came out of. It's like a little East Coast tourist kind of city for Europeans mostly. Phuket, Thailand was, and it just basically got washed off the fucking map. And that's basically what happened. There was a very deep subduction zone under one of the plates out there in the fucking ocean. and it slipped and created this huge void for, upset all of that water and created this massive chain of tsunamis. I remember watching video from that shit and thinking, like, this is the most straight up, the most apocalyptic thing I've ever seen. And I think to this day, when it comes to like a natural disaster, I've yet to see one that matches it. It was fucking insane. There was one in Japan, yeah, not that long ago, even more recent than that. The thing about the one in Japan was, well, number one, they hadn't had a tsunami like that in fucking like 100 years. It was like 100-year tsunami. And number two, the big damage from that, obviously, at the end of the day, was the Fukushima nuclear reactor having its backup generators flooded and going into meltdown. But yeah, the video from that Japanese tsunami too was just like fucking unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I know that like Thunderfoot had this huge radiation boner after that, trying to debunk people saying it's gonna fuck up everything, everyone's gonna be irradiated.
Yeah. I mean, there was a point in time where fucking Fukushima was leaking irradiated water into the fucking Pacific Ocean, and it was reaching the coast. It was measurable in coastal waters. So, pretty fucked up, man. Natural disasters are crazy. Absolutely insane. Japan one was like the apocalypse being televised. Oh yeah, well, because it happened in like a time where camera phones were ubiquitous, especially in Japan. So many people filmed so many scenes of the ocean just literally collapsing these cities, pushing whole I still go back every once in a while and watch that shit.
Are you talking about the Indonesia one?
I'm talking about the Japanese one, but the Indonesian one too.
There was enough for that one.
Yeah. There's this video from the Indonesian one that it's not the most destructive video, but it's one of the scariest that came out of it. And I'd have to.
How close they are.
Well, it's like there's this group of people standing on a beach somewhere in Thailand, tourists, and their kids are running around where the water has gone out because it's gone out super far.
Yeah.
And their kids are like, "Oh, look at all these shells. This is so cool. This is so cool." And then you can see on the horizon this giant shimmering wall of water coming.
You can't outrun it.
And it's just like, oh my fucking God. A tanker going over one of the waves. Oh yeah. There was the helicopter footage of the wave just moving inland over farmland and through cities and shit, pushing this just wall of debris. Just not stopping. Just. No, I've not watched the new Adam Curtis docs yet. The ocean is terrifying. Yeah. I mean, it's terrifyingly powerful. I don't know if it's necessarily terrifying on the face of it, but the power of nature and the power of that body of water in particular, and the kind of like geological features that make it so volatile underneath it, like that, is not to be trifled with for sure. Wipe your fucking coastal city right off the map. Tsunamis are the coolest looking disaster. I don't know about that. I mean, there's some pretty fucking crazy looking disasters.
You want that time? Oh. You always go on Mama's lap.
Lap time. He's a lap dog. He thinks he's a lap dog, but he's not a lap dog. He's too big.
He can do it.
Barely. Just barely.
It's weird how it's gotten to where Cricket sits on your lap way more than he does mine, and then Diner sits on my lap way more than he does yours.
They've discovered their favorite laps. They've picked their lap.
I think yours is probably comfier, but mine probably has more like lengthwise.
You have more vertical length because you don't have a belly impinging on your lap. But Cricket likes the belly.
Yeah, he wants to.
He likes the warm belly. There's not much room for you up here. I have to hold you like this if I want you on my lap. And you don't like being held like that. Whirlpools. Dude, I remember watching a documentary about a mine that collapsed and drained an entire lake. There was like this, I think it was coal or copper mine or whatever. And, hey, be nice. Don't be a jerk. There's like some kind of copper mine or something that collapsed. It was dug underneath a lake for some fucking god unknown reason. It collapsed and literally like the whole lake just started turning into a whirlpool and going down into the mine and flooding the mine, and it drained an entire fucking lake down into the mine. I'm trying to remember I can't remember anything about it other than there's a documentary about it that I watched. It might have been a salt mine.
Yeah. Underwater mining is probably one of the most dangerous things.
I gotta imagine, yeah. Yeah. It might be a salt mine. I can't remember what kind of mine it was. But it just collapsed and like all of the mining shafts just started filling with water. And the whole fucking lake turned into a whirlpool that was just sucking down everything.
You don't have to bark at him. He just picked up some litter. He's a good citizen.
Yeah, don't be borking. Don't be borking at people that walk by here. You know what they think of you? They think you're a jerk. You want everybody to think you're a jerk? You're not a jerk. You love everybody. But they don't know it if you bark. They think you're a jerky dog that wants to bite. You don't even know how to bite. You know how to bork, and that's it.
Dino will tackle you if he's like real excited.
Oh yeah, he'll run right up full speed and put his paws up in the air and just run right into you. He don't give a shit. The only cool mine shaft is the one in Temple of Doom. That is a cool one. He's the best eyebrows of any dog on earth. I agree. He does. His eyebrow game is on fleek, as the kids say. As the kids like to say, on fleek. Such a goofball. You did okay here yesterday, huh? You did okay. You had to stay home yesterday.
I can't believe we did all that on one tank of gas.
It's pretty dope. That's why we get a car that gets good gas mileage. Bada bing, bada bang. Thanks, Paul. Today is so cold and sucky. Oh, okay. You're welcome, I guess. How soft is his floofy coat? He's soft like a little like bunny rabbit. If you've ever petted a bunny, he's soft like that.
I mean, he probably needs a bath. He's a little sticky now.
Well, yeah, he's an outdoor boy now, but when he's all like freshly groomed and cleaned, it's like petting a little bunny rabbit. He's so soft. Where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Do you plan on watching the Sopranos prequel? Do you think it's gonna suck? I'll watch it.
I think it's James Gandolfini's son.
Yeah.
He's dead.
James Gandolfini is the heart of the
Or
Sopranos.
at the very least, he voiced it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
He
know.
voiced it at least. But...
Yeah, I don't know what the fucking. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I'm interested in seeing it for sure. I'll check it out. I think it could suck. It could be great. Like for example, another HBO series, Deadwood. It was canceled after its third season, and kind of left open-ended because it wasn't meant to be canceled then. And years later, like 10 years later, they made Deadwood the movie, which wrapped up a lot of the storylines and revisited the town and got the original cast back together. And it was great. Like, I really fucking enjoyed that. It actually put a button on the story in a satisfying way, and it wrapped up the whole fucking thing, and it was good. So it could do that. They're doing a prequel thing for The Sopranos. If I were in charge of The Sopranos legacy or whatever the fuck, I would not do a prequel. I would not do something that relies on James Gandolfini's character at all, because recasting that seems like a fucking nightmare. I don't care if they got his son. He was just radiant in that show. He was the heart of that show. So I think if they wanted to do like a Sopranos, they should do a sequel kind of show where Meadow has stepped in to Tony's position. They set that up in the show so fucking obviously that, when it comes to Tony's children, his daughter is the one that takes after him. His daughter is the one that has the kind of mind that's needed to run the business that he runs. And so I would love to see a show that's based in present time, fucking 20 years after Tony's death. Meadow Soprano has stepped into his place,
AJ just kind of does whatever.
Yeah, AJ, like he says it. Tony even says it. He says, he couldn't handle it. Like he just knows that AJ's nature is not the right kind of nature to be what he is, and he knows that Meadows is. Meadow has that fucking calculating mind, that Machiavellian kind of thinking.
Probably better than he does.
Probably, yeah. I mean, because she's tempered with, Carmela's fucking patience and wisdom and all of that. So I think that it would be a great show. Maybe after Tony, the hit goes down on Tony, which obviously happens at the end of The Sopranos. There's disarray in the Soprano family, and it's kind of absorbed by some other family, and then Meadow comes back and starts building up the family again, decides to take back what was her family's. That would be fucking awesome. She's a lawyer or something. She's gone on, but she sees how her family is falling apart, and she gets pulled into that life somehow and ends up sitting in that same seat that her father sat in, and that'd be great. You get AJ back in there and have him be a character, like the foil to Tony, like his sister is to him. AJ could be that, crazy, always getting into trouble, doesn't really know what the fuck is going on. Is a Pop-Tart a calzone? No. A Pop-Tart is a Pop-Tart.
Yeah. There's just so many other similar pastries.
Yeah.
Like there's Danishes.
Bear claws. All of these things are pastries that are stuffed with something. That's not a calzone. A calzone is like savory.
If you think about it, Pop-Tarts are pretty sad.
Kinda. They're just a big sugar bomb of American processed nonsense that you throw in your mouth at the beginning of the day,
Oh my goodness, Dee. Your knee bones, please. Can you get down?
That's enough. If you want to go inside, you can go inside if you're cold.
You wanna go in? Yeah.
Are toaster strudels fancy Pop-Tarts? Clearly, because they have the little icing drizzle that you put on top. Pop-Tarts, they have that hard-ass included icing. Nah, dude, a toaster strudel, you get to drizzle your own fucking icing on the top of that bitch.
Got them knee bones and elbows.
He is. He's pokey. It's his feet. He's got these little feet that just like dig. What did you draw with the icing? I don't remember drawing a whole lot. When I would get the toaster strudel, I'd just do the back and forth on the toaster strudel, try to get everything out of the packet. You want all the icing.
Have you seen the frostingless Pop-Tarts?
Yes, those are the saddest of all Pop-Tarts. I can't even imagine eating a frostingless Pop-Tart. They should sell toaster strudels in the shape of Paul's beard. They should. They should sell everything in the shape of my beard.
Whole face.
Mm-hmm. Everything. Every
Like
product.
Pancakes.
Yeah.
Pancake molds.
Yeah. I like it.
Egg
I like that,
molds.
Holmes. Yeah. Dildos. With my face on it. When is the Paul plushie coming out? Stay tuned. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got the fucking prototype.
I think it's been about 6 months. So.
It's been a long time. We need to get that we need to get the plushie situation figured out. But we want the plushies to be correct. And fluffy and cute. Where have all the good men gone and where? Where are all the gods?
You changed your mind already, T?
I want back out. Dude, I think one of my favorite things about Cricket is his little skedaddle that he does. He
It's almost like pigeon-toed.
Yeah. His back feet point this way, and so he was sitting right in front of the door, of course, when I went in, and then as soon as he saw that I was walking into the house, he has to be right in front of you, and he does this little pigeon-toed skedaddle. He's like, and he'll look back and make sure you're still coming. He wants a follow. I had to do him a follow. He didn't even want food. He just wanted a follow real quick. It's like, follow me. Like, all right, buddy. Consider thyself followed. Where are all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? At night I toss and I turn and I dream of something. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Timeouts a flying. Tim Allen 3 should strictly be about how Tim Allen was behind the scenes of Space Quest. Maybe it will be. Sometimes you get really weird fans in here asking too personal, like what toilet paper do you use and how do you wipe? Do you ever get tired of it? Sure. I mean, there's just some shit that I don't even care to know about myself.
You don't sit there and evaluate, like,
Yeah, it's like, I've never been that type of a person that follows a personality. You know what I mean? Like I've never, like I'll admire somebody, but I never wonder like, oh man, I wonder what their underwear is like, and I wonder how they wipe their butt, and I wonder what they eat every day, and I wonder what they fucking blah blah blah. It's like,
what's their favorite everything?
yeah, what's their favorite everything? I wonder if they have the same favorites as me. Like I don't care. You know, not really. Even Jude Law, no. Even Jude Law. Like, I don't care what I have in common with Jude Law. I just like looking at him.
Skunk. It reminded me so much of that.
Yeah. That's why they call weed skunk. Yeah. You never smelled a skunk before?
I think I have.
Yeah, we were driving last night and somebody either hit a skunk or a skunk sprayed somebody, and like, dude, that stuff is so pungent. You drive by it at 70 miles an hour and you smell it for like a minute. Isn't that crazy? Somebody hits a skunk or something. You drive by it on a fucking freeway doing 70. And that fucking smell is in your car for like a minute. It's like, what? How does something stink like that? Imagine being sprayed by one. We had a dog that got hit by a skunk when I was a kid. We had a golden retriever named Maggie. And she was an inside dog. This is back when we lived out in the country still. And Maggie got hit with a skunk. She was out there fucking with a skunk and got hit. Came back home reeking. And it was like weeks of, I can't remember what my mom used. I think it was like mayonnaise. It was like weeks of bathing her over and over again in something to get that off of her.
Mayonnaise would work because like the fat kind of pulls it
I think
off.
that's what it was, yeah.
Soap was just like duck fat or whatever.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what she used. Some kind of like mayonnaise mixture that she made up. She learned about, and she would bathe Maggie with it every day. And eventually Maggie stopped stinking. But she got hit with it. Also, had a dog get hit with a porcupine quill as well one time. Which those are not super common where I'm from. But my dog Casey came home with a porcupine quill in her mouth. Like in her lip here, that had to be pulled out and doctored.
Probably the worst thing Dinor's gotten into is fire ants.
Yeah, Dinor's gotten into some fire ants before. The worst he got was when he was a puppy. I took him down in Texas. He peed and pooped like normal. I brought him up, and then all of a sudden he just started screaming. Like a noise that was horrible. Just like, we're like, holy fuck. And he's just like laying on the ground screaming. And we could tell he was favoring one of his paws. And so I grabbed that paw. And I didn't find the offending ant. But I held his paw there until he chilled out. I could tell he got bit. Got bit right on the pad or something.
My feet got tore up with ants, remember?
Yeah. You got bit up. Those were either, I don't know if they were ants or chiggers, to be honest with you. you got tore up by something.
I just bathed the whole thing in Bactine or whatever.
Yep. Skunks can spray far, yeah. Well, they spray well before an animal is on top of them. Like if they're being pursued by an animal, they go into launch position. They pull that little tail up and they put their ass towards you. And that's like warning number one. That little white black flag waving around is supposed to mean like, get the fuck back. You keep coming. They release a cloud and run. And you have to run through that in order to come after them. And when you run through that, it gets in your eyes and your mouth, and you're like, all right, fuck this. Like, that's their whole defensive kind of fucking maneuver. They fart and then run. They release the world's deadliest fart, and then they run away and leave you fucking hanging in it, going, oh, you little bastard. That's a cool animal. That's an animal I can get with. I can mess with skunks because that's cool. I wish I could fart and do that. Just get him. Oh God. That's fucking rancid. Hey Paul, how's things in the colonies? Had my COVID vax Saturday, the British Oxford one. 15 million vaccinated so far, 22% of the population. Rule Britannia, silliness aside. Hope you get yours before too long. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think they're gonna limber up some fucking vaccines in March or April, and I might be able to get one then. That's what I'm hoping. That's about the earliest I can hope to get it.
The fatty vaccine.
Yeah, the fatty vaccine. Sad thing is, I don't even know if I qualify anymore. I don't know if I'm. I have to be like 310 pounds or something, and I know I'm not that.
You just gotta get a sandbag belly.
I'm gonna have to just eat fucking pizza and nothing but pizza from now until March.
Just sandbags.
Yeah.
A little inner tube or something, fill it with water.
Oh yeah. Just walk in there like.
Are you gonna get close enough to you to check?
I don't know. They might. It's like when Homer Simpson wanted to get disability and had the flowery gown. Yeah. Yeah. When he decided he wanted to be too fat to work, and so he got the big moo-moo. I remember that one. That was when the Simpsons didn't suck. Believe it or not, there was a time where the Simpsons, in fact, did not suck.
You know, birds having a conversation, crows and the roosters.
Yeah, they're like, cock-a-doodle-doo! Ah! They're trying to show each other up.
They really are going back and forth.
They are.
Clockwork.
Fucking dinosaurs, man. Dinosaurs among us. They live. The dinosaurs didn't go extinct. They just took to the skies. Kind of true. The big ones couldn't keep living, but all the little feathery ones, They did just fine. I remember when I was a kid, they were just coming to this like realization that some dinosaurs had feathers. I remember Archaeopteryx was thought to be the first feathered dinosaur when I was a kid. That's how it was taught to me. And now the conventional wisdom is that most dinosaurs were feathered. Had at least crests of feathers, if not completely feathered.
Got that chicken skin.
Yep. That lizardy chicken skin. Okay, we're good. Knowing T-Rex had feathers threw me off. Dude, all of them did. Like, maybe not every fucking dinosaur, but a lot of the dinosaurs, especially the predatory ones, had feathers. There are some scientists that think that, like, even the big sauropods, the big giant kind of long necks, had a ridge of feathers or possibly covered in downy, feathery like shit. Are you saying that most dinosaurs probably tasted like fowl? Yeah, I mean, I would imagine. If you could go back and eat a fucking T-Rex or something, it'd probably taste a lot like chicken. Or, you know, some bigger predatory bird. I don't know. Taste a lot like eagle, maybe. Chicken is the template animal. It's the middle taste that everyone can relate to. There's chicken, and then tastes branch off of chicken. Chicken is like the locus of taste. It's right there in the center. So many things, every taste relates to it in some way, shape, or form. Some directly, some far more indirectly through other flavors, but it all leads back to chicken.
It is pretty crazy that, like, ostriches, like, they grew wings and then they ungrew wings.
Well, it's like bears.
Yeah.
It's like the animals that came up out of the ocean.
Yeah.
And then decided, fuck this, we're going back in the ocean, and became whales. That shit boggles my mind. Gotta blow that nose, dude. Fucking histamine sniffles. Ugh. Hey, Paul, can you talk about the 15 minimum wage, please? It's a step in the right direction if we get it passed immediately. If it's 15 by 2025, it's pointless. And it's tokenistic, and we may as well not do it and not waste political capital even trying it. Which is, like, that's what's being pushed right now by the libs. It's like 2025, you get 15. 15 is not enough. Yeah, it needed to be 15 about 15, 20 years ago to keep pace with production and inflation. It's not, so. Oh, it's a total stopgap. You know, inflation rates keep rising, and if we've just gotten a big minimum wage increase, you realize it's been fucking like over, I can't remember when the last time the federal minimum wage got bumped. It's been over a decade. It's been, what, 20 years of flat wages at the federal fucking baseline level? Am I wrong about that? 2010 was the last time we got a bump. So it'll be another fucking 10, 11 years before you even get to bring it up politically again. And look how much that helped people. Look how much the bump in the minimum wage in 2009, 2010 helped people. Look how much it lifted them up out of poverty. Look how much more spending power they have. Look how much more secure they are in their lives. Look how much better their health care is as a result, because they can afford better health care. Oops, they can't. Oops, it didn't help anybody. Oops, it was just a tokenistic fucking gesture. Oops, it just doesn't work. I've got to be honest with you. We need to start talking about a maximum wage in this country. Fuck a minimum wage. There needs to be a maximum wage in this country, in my opinion. That's what we need to start fucking talking about. You make X amount of dollars a year, and then you're taxed 100% on any income after that, period. People go like, oh, that would be disastrous. Rich people would leave in droves. I'm like, some of them would. Let them go. This is America. Let the vacuum be filled by intrepid fucking entrepreneurs. Isn't that the American fucking spirit? Let these rich fucking vampires go. Let them take their fucking shit overseas if they don't want to fucking abide by it. There's plenty of people who'd be happy to live here in America and make $4 million a year. You can live like a fucking king in America at $4 million a year. Cap it. $4 million, everything you make above that, 100% tax. There's plenty of Americans that would maintain that lifestyle and be perfectly happy to abide by that maximum wage. We need to stop letting these fucking companies hold a stranglehold over us, like we're worried that they're, oh, well, if we raise taxes, then the rich people are going to leave. Good. Let them go vampirize some other fucking nation and let some other American citizen rise up to take their place that's happy to fucking shoulder the tax burden of being wealthy. Not just rich, wealthy. They won't actually leave, though. That's actually true. Dude, if you look at pre-Reagan tax, the pre-Reagan like tax schedule, it was insane how much higher of a tax burden the wealthiest people in America shouldered in comparison to now. And guess what? Pre-Reagan in the 70s and in the 60s, people were still fucking rich. Beyond your wildest dreams, let alone theirs. So somehow they were able to shoulder the burden and still have boats and still have private islands and still do their fucking shit. So what's this fucking fear of putting too much burden on these businesses? It's like, burden? The biggest of these businesses pay an effective 0% tax rate. Effective 0. Just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, I understand why they say this shit. What I don't understand is why actual working people buy it. Like, if you're a working person, you know the value of a dollar. You know how much revenue you're producing at whatever fucking place you work at, and you know that that's being funneled up to the top somewhere, so you know somebody's fucking rich. I don't know, dude. The fucking, like, defensiveness of the rich that some people have is just fucking insane to me. On both sides of the aisle, too. This is something that leftists and rightists are both equally fucking guilty of. They place the rich on this pedestal and they argue for things being fair to the rich. And it's like, what? Fair? So you're worried about things being fair in the United States for people that are jumping in their Rolls-Royce Dawn to eat at a restaurant that costs more per meal than you make in a month? What? Where does fairness even come into it? That's just outright opulence in the face of crushing debt and poverty. Tax it. They earned it. I'm saying let them have it. You can still drive a Rolls-Royce Dawn if you make $4 million a year. Yep. You save up a couple of years, you can put a nice fat down on a big fucking yacht and have that too. You know, like we have to do. We want some luxury item or something that costs money. Yeah. We save up a few years. We plan towards it and then we get our yacht. We don't just get to fucking go down and write off a yacht. Yeah, tax the churches too. I'm 100% with you on that shit. Tax the fucking churches. They're political organizations now. Tax them. Yeah. $4 million a year is opulent wealth. There are people that are raking in 20, 30, 40, 50 times that in this country. That's absurd. That's an absurd hoarding of the capital of this nation in the hands of a small few people, and it makes no sense. That value ought to be given right back to the government and then flow straight out of the government into infrastructure and community outreach and community building and hospital building and healthcare and all of that shit. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of having a place like this, is that business, all of the wealth that it generates, helps to support the society upon which it depends. They depend on your labor. And they depend on you spending the dollars that they gave you for that labor on their shit. And they don't want to pay their fucking fair share. They don't want to hold up their end of the bargain, which is all of that capital that's generated, all of that fucking wealth that flows up like a wellspring from people here in America gets redistributed fairly and evenly so that those people have a decent fucking life. And so you're still rich. You're still out riding around on your fucking yacht. You still take a helicopter to work. You can afford all that. You make $4 million, $5 million a year, whatever the cap is. So what's the argument here? That's not enough? $5 million a year is not enough for anybody? Well, then move. Move somewhere where you can make $20 million a year effective and get the fuck out. And the vacuum that you leave behind when you take your business and your wealth elsewhere will be filled by an American that'll be happy to make $4 million a year. Fuck this stranglehold. Fuck this implicit, gun that corporate America has to the heads of people like, well, if you try and do this, we'll just move. Good. You're a fucking remora sucking off of the American dream. Get off. Go find something else to suck off of. Vampire corporatist piece of shit. What are you telling me, that an American can't fill the gap that you leave? You know what place you fucking do business in, bitch? As soon as you leave, there'll be 150,000 Americans competing for your little piece of the pie. And one of them will get it. So get. No, not in Minecraft. I'm not threatening any violence. I'm just telling these rich fucks that if you're gonna hold that gun to my head for years and years and years, go ahead and pull the trigger. Let's see what happens. Go to China, go to Russia, go to Europe, go to some country that you think is more of a tax haven for you and run your business from there and see who buys any of it. See if the gap that you leave behind isn't immediately filled with American ingenuity. Fuck these people. It's like we as a people have forgotten this country. You know, I do this fucking bit sometimes. This dun 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 jingoistic American and fucking thing that I do, right? It's a joke, clearly. I'm joking around with people when I talk about how America is perfect. But every good joke has a little bit of truth to it. That's what makes it funny. And the truth of America is, this is a place of amazing ingenuity. We are a melting pot of brilliant fucking people. When it comes to playing this capitalist game, we are a people that is entrepreneurial by nature. There are just people out there that dream of owning their own business, dream of creating something new, dream of having a piece of that fucking pie and securing some wealth for their fucking family in perpetuity. And you know what? If these rich fucks leave because they don't want to pay their fair share, those people are going to rise up and assume that position. And they're going to be happy to make whatever the fucking maximum wage is, period. Pull the trigger. I'm sick of corporations in this country having a gun to the head of the American people and threatening us with fucking total destitution if we try and tax them. Let them go. We'll be fine. Somebody will step up. Another business will be born, and that capital will be distributed, and that fucking business will grow because it's better than the one that came before it. And whoever's running that business will be more than happy to make whatever the maximum wage is. Guaranteed. It's time to end the empire. Maybe. I don't even think we need to take positive action for that. The empire is crumbling. We just need to keep doing what we're doing. The good news is I see more and more people that are on the brink of a major movement. I can feel it every day. I can feel it coming. I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I wish I did. I just don't feel that energy coalescing. That 60s kind of hippie movement / civil rights movement energy is not, it's not there. I can't feel it. Do you think the political institutions need to be restructured? I think that when you're talking about the political institutions, are you talking about the constitutionally enumerated institutions, or are you talking about the number of bureaucratic institutions? Or are you talking about all of it? You talking about the party institutions, the bureaucratic institutions, the law enforcement institutions? I mean, some of those things I don't know enough about to know whether they need to be restructured. No. I'm not looking for the new hippie thing. I understand what you're saying. No. I get it, Book Blaze, and I appreciate the comment. I really do, because it's a fucking clarification that is worthwhile. I'm not thinking that it's going to play out exactly like the hippie movement. It has to be modern. I'm completely and utterly fucking aware of that. I don't think it's gonna be like, come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Like I don't see it happening that way, but I don't feel that it's the energy of that I was talking about. You know, that was expressed in a cultural way that was relevant at that time, right? That energy that was at the core, that was driving all of that music and driving all of that protest and driving all of that fucking radical desire for change and driving those people to just pack the National Mall day after day after day. I'm telling you, that seismic shift in the people deciding that they're taking it back, I have not felt. I haven't felt it. I don't feel that energy growing. I don't see it anywhere yet. I see a lot of squabbling and I see a lot of status quoing, and I don't feel that. It's not there yet. You know, the hippies get maligned a lot. The kids of that generation, the young people and the teens and young adults of that generation had big fucking hearts full of just, I don't know what to call it, just energy. Just the desire to fucking put their mark on the world and just change it. To deal with the injustices. It was there. You know? It's not there. I don't feel it anymore. Well, I never felt it in the first place. I wasn't born in the fucking 60s. I was born in the 80s. Right at the beginning of people giving up. I don't feel it building. And maybe it's because I'm not from the younger generations and shit, and so I just can't. I'm not tapped in. But I look for it. I've been watching for it. I've been wanting it for a long time. What about last year's protest? What changes happened? Like, what was brought about as a result of last year's protests? I'm not trying to undercut them. I supported those protests, but what happened as a result? I mean, do you think that the lives of black people in aggregate in this country got better because of those protests? I'm not saying they didn't. I'm just asking, I'm asking what you guys think about that. I don't know. I'm not a black person. So I can't speak from that experience. Protests in the 60s were about a lot of different things too. Absolutely right. About warmongering and actual war. There were anti-war hippies. There were environmentalist hippies. There were Black Panther hippies. There were radical race reformist hippies. There were, you know, there were all stripes of leftism were represented in the hippie movement. And it was intrinsically linked with the civil rights movement. Shared a lot of common ground with that movement. What happened to the 60s momentum? Read Hunter Thompson, dude. And at some point, the wave broke and pulled away almost as quickly as it came, or however he puts it. He talks about it in Leaving Las Vegas. But if you look with the right kind of eyes, you can almost see that place with the high water mark where the wave broke. Oh yeah, Fear and Loathing, sorry. Not Leaving Las Vegas. Both good movies, though. Good Morning, Marshall. A man that doesn't know any way to go but hard. Marshall Manson. In the chat. Pockets fat. So Marshall, since I've got you here, and I'm thinking I might just do this. It might help to get me into FL Studio because I have not spent much time fucking around in FL Studio. I need to. But I had this idea on a show, and I don't think you were hanging around for it. I don't even know if you remember it. You remember that fucking that video? It was back in the day on YouTube. That Kelly video. It was like a dude that would dress up as this female character named Kelly. He did the song Shoes. Where he's like, shoes. Shoes. Yeah. Dude, I think that could be remixed. I think we could pull a little something from that and make a fucking dope-ass trap song about sneakers. I'd have to learn a little bit about sneakers. I'd have to steal some knowledge. But I think it could be dope. Yes, go check out Marshall's latest music video if you've not. There's 216 of you in here, and I know not all 216 of you have clicked that fucking link and looked at Marshall's new video, and you're wasting your fucking time here with me if you haven't done that yet. You shouldn't even be here if you haven't done that yet. So I want you to go to Marshall's channel. I want you to hit subscribe. I want you to watch that fucking video and leave a comment on it. Criminally underviewed. It's fucking insane. It's got like 100% legit production value all the way through, video and song-wise. It's like new metal trap. It's fucking amazing. It's in Marshall's fucking inimitable style. Go. Get it, add it to your playlists, put it on your fucking YouTube playlist so you can bump it in your car and shit. Go now. And subscribe too. The video and the song, tight as fuck. Marshall put a lot of work into this shit. And it shows.
Both of you are also on Spotify.
That's true.
You can subscribe to Marshall on Spotify. You can subscribe to DFF on
Yep.
Spotify.
Go check Marshall out on fucking Spotify. Go follow DFF while you're there. We're both on Spotify. We're both starting to release our shit there. But yeah, go follow Marshall's SoundCloud. I mean, like, do it. Like, you have let me tell you something about Marshall Manson. You have the rare opportunity to become a fan of a musician that might break big one day. And I don't blow smoke up people's fucking ass, but Marshall has a sound. He doesn't sound like anybody else. So it's just a matter of time before the right set of eyes, in my mind, get on fucking Marshall Manson, and he's big. And you have the ability to get in on the ground floor of somebody that might be a really fucking popular musician someday. I'm not saying for sure that he will be. I can't fucking look in a crystal ball, but I'm letting you know he has that potential. And so he deserves your fucking follow. Think about being in on the ground floor of one of these, the new fucking top 100 chart Billboard guy. You know what I mean? He could be that. Marshall has that energy. I met the dude. Like, I've met people with that energy before. Marshall's got it. He's a total triple threat. Plays instruments, fucking sings, fucking produces, makes his own beats, conceives his own fucking videos and shit. The dude knows what he's doing. He's got a vision. Not a lot of artists got that. So go get it. Leave a fucking comment, leave a like, help him however you fucking can. Follow all his shit. Listen to all his shit, including the shit that my boy Beauregard does with him once in a while. He did cut his face off. All the way off. I mean, that's fucking like... Everybody's talking about Lil Uzi Vert getting a fucking 10-carat diamond implanted in his head. Marshall fucking cut his whole face off and then fucking put it back on. Stapled it. I bet it did hurted. It looked like it hurted. Cutted his whole face off. Dude, I knew Marshall had it, and it wasn't even necessarily because of the songs he had written up until that point, to be quite frank with you. I knew Marshall had it when we asked him to perform in LA, and he flew in under some of the strangest fucking, probably most worrying circumstances that a young man can fly in on. He's a dude at that time that didn't have a ton of experience doing live shows and shit. And he's being asked to come and meet a bunch of dudes that have a podcast and be in front of a big audience and do a whole fucking set. And that motherfucker never skipped a beat. He was nervous as fuck. He told me as much. But when it came to the showdown, Marshall was there. 110%. He killed it on stage. So that's when I knew, dude. I was like, okay, well... Because that's something that, like, you can have all this other shit. There's a lot of people that are, like, talented in one way or another. They can sing, they can produce, or whatever the fuck. But when it comes to the showdown, they're not there. They're not there. They can rap, they can fucking do this, they can do that. But, you know what I mean? You can't teach that shit. He was a young dude. How old were you, Marshall, when we put you in that fucking position? You weren't even 21 yet, yeah? Like, we had to get you a fucking wristband to get into the venue because there was alcohol being slung, if memory serves. Yeah, just turned 20. Think about that. 19, just turned 20. And we're flying him across the country, putting him up in a hotel, expecting him to get back and forth to venues on his own and shit. Expecting him to fucking produce. Get up on stage in front of 250 fucking people and rock the house. 19. Going, like, just turned 20. Ridiculous. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just going to blow Marshall Manson for the next 90 minutes. Because I dead ass believe in his fucking talent. If I didn't, I wouldn't fucking fuck with it. You know how many people send me their work and shit? And I'm like, hey, that's cool. You know, but I never, you know. I get behind Marshall because I know. I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm pissed at myself that I was too depressed to see Marshall the last time I had the chance to. I think Marshall and Marilyn and Jamie Darkey came to Louisiana, and I was in a fucking rat hole. I didn't even want to see the sun come up. I was sleeping through the day on purpose so I could be a fucking Nosferatu vampire, and I just couldn't fucking go out. It sucked.
Way better since I even met you.
What?
Like, just mentally.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of, you know, got medicated, and I've made some changes in my life that were very positive, and so I feel better. I'm in a way better place now than I was then. I was in a fucking deep, dark hole back then. Just not a good time in my life. I was having a lot of personal issues and compounded with my mental problems and shit. Just wasn't good. Yeah, we'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Maybe when you go to Philly.
Yeah, that would be a good time to fucking make a hop skip. Because, yeah, going to the Philly area to get tatted up, and then I'll be way closer to Marshall at that point. I could do a hop skip, flip flap, get all tatted up, go visit Marshall all sore, like, what's up, dude? Sorry.
Dude, I saw my dad right after a tattoo once, and this dude fucking murdered his skin. It was just like this big old scab.
Yeah. Ashley got a tattoo on her forearm that scabbed really bad. But after this, she did the right thing. She put, she kept it covered, didn't pick at it, put the tattoo goo on it. And after that scab fell off, it was one of the most vibrant tattoos I'd ever seen.
Well, like, this fucking artist, like, chewed up my dad's arm. It was like,
You just, like, drilled him deep. You got to do that, though, for, like, the black lines and shit.
Yeah. No, this was the whole last thing.
Oh.
Every aspect of it. It doesn't look good.
It just came out.
It went too far.
It went.
He wanted it above his wrist so he could cover it, and it went onto his hand.
Oh, yeah. Well. Yeah, I've only sat in the chair one time, and it was actually with a first time tattooist. So the tattoo I have on my arm, it was her first time tattooing a person. That's why I was able to afford it at the time.
Probably the first time for money. They normally have them tattooed for a while.
Right. She might have tattooed a corpse or whatever. I know that they do that sometimes. Like they'll practice on cadavers or whatever the fuck.
Pig skin or whatever.
Pig skin. But it was her first time tattooing a live client. And it took her about 6 hours in the chair to do this, which is probably a little long for the size it is. I think an experienced tattooist probably could have done it
2 or 3 hours.
Probably 4. It's a lot of work on there if you look at it. It's a lot of shading, a lot of color, and a lot of fucking line work on it. But
I think the one on my knee probably took 2 hours, but it was someone that had been doing it for 30 years.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the next tattoo artist that I work with is going to be somebody that's been doing it for a long time, that does it every day out of the love of it, and that has the type of style that I really fucking want. I found that guy, and he's back east in Pennsylvania, so as soon as I fucking can, as soon as I can get my shots and shit, I'm going to book that trip. And that's going to be that. I'll get my shots, and then as soon as I can find a block of time where he can do some work on me and shit, I want him to do it.
Yeah, probably wait till both of us get shots.
Probably, yeah. Although with like our animals and shit, it might make sense for me to make that trip by myself.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like by the time I get it, then you have a better feel for everyone else.
Well, that's true. I mean, it might take that long for me to book him anyway. I understand he works a lot, so. Do you like how really old tattoos look on old people? Kinda, yeah. My grandpa had some military tattoos that he got in the Marines. And when he was old, I used to like looking at his tattoos.
Yeah, there's a very green quality to the blacks back then.
Yeah. That's exactly right. They were like a dark green or a dark blue on him. And I don't know. I liked looking at them, yeah. I like that old style of tattooing on old people and stuff. I'm really not concerned like about tattooing myself and then getting old. I don't care.
You just ain't getting no titty tattoo like
No, I want my arms and my forearms and my hands done. And then possibly maybe something up on my neck at some point. But that's way down the road. That's if I get all this other work done and I really like it. I remember watching this interview with Post Malone about his tattoos. It was one of these channels that goes to these artists that are all tatted up and asks them about their tattoos and what the story for each one is. And they asked him, like, which one is the most painful? And he started to talk about the one he was getting on his throat. He's got this like cow skull on his throat with the horns that go out this way. And then he was like, actually, it's this one. And he puts his little pointer finger out, and he's got a little Cartier logo right above his cuticle, right there on the tip of this finger. It's just like a little, whatever the Cartier logo is.
Or like it's basically doing it on top of the nail.
It's right there. It's like literally just above the nail bed. And he said, this shit right here was the worst. And I was like, oof. Because I want to get some tattoos, not all the way, because your hands are not great for you got to really get them done. I don't want to go all the way down my finger, but I want to get like some done on this first knuckle here and the whole flat of my hand on both hands eventually. Probably starting with one hand. There's nothing there but nerves and bone and capillary.
I think one really painful spot I've heard is the Achilles tendon.
I can't even imagine. Yeah, I don't want no leg tats. I don't wear shorts. I'd never get to see them. At least I don't want them now. Maybe if I have a feeling that I might get like the tattoo bug getting all, because what I want done is pretty fucking, it's going to be a lot of work. But I've wanted it for so fucking long. And I was held back for so long getting any of it done because I grew up in an era where if you had tattoos below the short sleeve line, you didn't get jobs. That's gone now, dude. I walk into these fucking normal jobs and everybody's tatted up. Like, people don't have that stigma anymore, and so I'm, fuck it. I don't think you'd have to ask Beauregard, but I don't see Beauregard ever getting a face tattoo. I don't think he's looking. I don't think he's looking for that. Maybe 3 10-carat diamonds in his forehead, though.
Yeah.
It's like a whole tiara of diamonds. Take little Uzi Vert's flex to the next level. It's the only thing you can do at this point. Yeah, get like one like him up here, but make it like a giant Burmese ruby or some shit. And then just get different colored stones like on the backs of your hands and shit. And have all the tattoos built around them. Just like get them implanted like the infinity stones on each hand. That'd be dope. I don't remember much about last night's Highdeology. I got pretty high. I sat out here and sang and talked.
World of Warcraft and how addictive it was.
Oh yeah, I talked. Yeah, I was on a little bit of a stoned tear last night, so I don't remember much about it. I'm glad it was fun.
Oh yeah, you did a lot of singing too.
Yeah, I did. I did some singing at the end of it. I remember that. Replace your teeth with diamonds. We were talking about that. Getting like permanent, getting your teeth pulled out, and just having each tooth carved into diamond, and then fucking used as an implant.
Might be better to have it as dentures, I wonder.
No, hell no. I don't want no dentures. Implants. All the way around. Snip, snip, snip. And then I could get like different fittings for each one. So if I wanted to do like the shark grill, I could just get like ones that just clip right over my fucking diamond teeth. I don't think I could do that shark grill shit. That's a little too extra for me.
Yeah, there's like one area where they like file them down into points.
Yeah. Trippy Red, I think, is the first rapper guy that I saw have a shark grill. And now I've seen a couple other, I think, what's his name? Who's that crazy white Houston rapper? I'm trying to remember his name. I don't know why I'm brain farting his name. Yeah, Riff Raff. Yeah, thank you. My friend's has his hands tattooed. It fades down fast. Well, I'm willing to do the upkeep on it. And I'm also willing to go to a person who's going to get it fucking deep and dark enough to where it doesn't need to be constantly touched up. But if I've got to go in for touch-ups, then so be it. I'll go get touch-ups once every couple years or whatever the fuck. I don't care. I know what I want, and I will get what I want. No, I don't want a face tat. I don't have tattoos. Slow claps for you. I know. I love people that are like, I just never got a tattoo. It's like, so you're boring? Cool. Ever consider getting branded? Nope. Get the Pig Wheels logo here. Yeah, dude, I could do it as a cover up for my splotch. Just get Pig Wheels right up here. No, I don't think so. Wayne's got those glow-in-the-dark tattoos. I want a few of those. Yeah, that's kind of a newer thing they're doing. The kind of light-absorbing phosphorescent tattoo ink. Pretty neat. I have one on my chest, want more too, but money, yeah. Well, I'm not rich, but I got a little bit of money saved up for it. I've wanted it for years and years and years, and as soon as I've now like locked in on a tattoo artist that I want to work with. So all it is it becoming safe for me to travel and me getting work in a state where I can take a couple of weeks and just work with the tattoo artist and get as much work done as I can in that visit and do it again if I have to. Like, I just want to get it done. I'm tired of not having it. I ain't rich yet, but you know I ain't broke. So if I see that, I like it, I buy that from the store. I'm with some white girls and they loving the coca. Like AOT. Have you revealed what the tattoo will look like? I've talked a little bit about it, but to be quite frank with you, I need to work with the artist. Like, I need to send him my ideas and let him fill out some of my ideas. I've got a couple of ideas for tattoos that I want, and I want to see how they fit the canvas and how he can make it fit what I've got here, because the tattoos that I'm envisioning are here on the forearm, on both forearms, and I'm hand tats kind of implied. I'd like some of the tattoos that I have, at least one of them on a forearm, to wrap around to the top of the arm as well. I don't know. Get a shoulder tattoo that says chicken in Cantonese. Why not a tramp stamp? Why not right at the top of my butt crack? It says chicken. Would your tattoos have any meaning? I can't think of anything in my life that's meaningful enough to be permanently marked on my skin. Sure. My tattoos all have meaning. Or the ones I have envisioned. They might not be deep meaning, but get your eyes blackened. Nope. A tat of Dynor would be pretty tight. Your parents have any tattoos? No. I had to think about Steve for a second. No. My parents do not have any tattoos. juicy tramp stamp, yeah. Yeah, personal meaning is all that matters, sure.
I mean, they can just look cool too.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with getting a tattoo that you just like looking at because it's cool. Like, people think that every tattoo has to be dripping with like personal meaning or whatever. What about just like wanting to have a cool piece of art that you get to look at all the time on you? Why did you want the tiki tattoo? I remember liking uh, a lot of the like. I remember I've always kind of had a thing for masks. Back when I was a kid, um, I went to this fucking, what was it? Cost Plus World Market. You ever heard of that place?
Yeah, I think so.
There's like this weird, it's like a weird market that has a bunch of imported goods, and they would sell these masks, like African masks, Maori type of style masks. I really liked the look of the kind of tiki masks. And I liked the idea of the comedy and tragedy masks of theater. I was really into theater at the time. Still, I mean, I still am. Um, so I wanted to riff on that a little bit and have, you know, kind of a representation of that and three tiki masks all displaying a different level of emotion. And that was the idea behind it. And I kind of cut loose the artist on that. She drew up some things. We made a little bit of changes. And then I was like, I like it. Let's do it. That was it. Yeah, I don't have any of them anymore, but for a while there, I had a lot of masks. A lot of weird looking masks. My Orthodox Jewish family would disown me if I got a tattoo. Good. Go get a tattoo just to freak them out by getting a tattoo of the Star of David on your chest or something. Make them confront, like, be like, wait a minute. Be like, I wanted to decorate my body's temple with the Star of David. IDF soldiers get tattoos. It's not uncommon. Well, not all IDF soldiers are in Orthodox Jewish families either. Like, there's a difference between an Orthodox Jewish family and a typical Jewish family. Ooh, gotta take a leak. Gotta take a leak, B. I can't just do it out here all the time like you. Just in dark. Just when it's dark. Dude, did you guys hear my pee? I was peeing in this front bathroom right here, or this back bathroom right here. And Amelia opened the door. And I was like, dude, I bet they heard my pee. Did you guys hear it? Did you hear me pee it up? I was hoping it was loud enough. I was hoping it was loud enough for you guys to hear it. Ah, well. What can you do? So your favorite Zelda is Majora's Mask? No, that's the only 3D Zelda game that I've ever played through. So it's my favorite 3D Zelda, but my favorite Zelda game is Link to the Past. Wind Waker is probably my second favorite. I played a lot of Wind Waker. And I guess that one would probably be... I always forget about Wind Waker for some reason because it almost feels like a completely different game. Even though it's like recognizably Zelda, the boat mechanic and stuff, I almost put it in a different position. Wind Waker is a great game. Not gonna lie. I did like Majora's Mask. I finished Wind Waker as well, so... Didn't like Ocarina of Time. Just wasn't a fan. Link blowing on a flute and shit and being a little kid. It just wasn't cool enough, you know? Didn't feel epic to me. Yeah, I never played Breath of the Wild, but it did look like a grindy kind of game. Never played Twilight Princess, so I couldn't tell you. Toodly toodly too. I'm an art and design major and didn't realize how bad beef is between illustrators and fine artists. Do you think modern art is lesser art? I don't think any art is lesser or greater art. Like, I'm an art generalist. I think if you create something with an artistic, like, intent, you've made a piece of art. And everything else is just aesthetics and personal fucking preference. I might look at a piece of art and go, wow. Like, I might look at, like, an artist that I really love that's controversial amongst, you know, people that like art is Jean-Michel Basquiat. I love his kind of graffiti style art, African influenced kind of street art with shit written on it, you know, phrases written and scratched out. I love his take on the Guernica, some of his boxer paintings, and Like he was just really. I love the look of his art, but a lot of people look at that and they go like, "What the fuck?" I actually got to see a Pollock at the L.A. History of Modern Art, or the L.A. Museum of Modern Art, when I was a kid, and I was blown away by it. Like, I'm not a huge fan, but I'd heard of these like splatter kind of artists. I can't remember what the work was that I got to view, but looking at it was like looking up at the sky at night. It was crazy how interesting and textured it was, and how different it was from everything else that was hanging in the gallery, you know? I've never understood why somebody would get a tattoo. They're cool and all. I just don't understand their purpose. They don't have a purpose other than being like aesthetically pleasing to the person who gets it, and possibly aesthetically pleasing to other people who like tattoos. That's it. Like, why does everything have to have a purpose? Like a tattoo just is. You know, it's your body. You have to look at it all the time. If you want it covered in some cool art that you like looking at, you like the aesthetic of it, you go do it. If you don't, you don't. Nobody's going to hold a fucking gun to your head and make you get a tat, you know? Just don't do it if you don't want it. Quit whining about other people doing it, too. Why live if you're just going to die? It's like... No, my skin must be pristine when I hit the grave. Yeah, like, why? Like, why do you care? I want a smog tattoo, but like the one that Tolkien drew. A smog tat? Oh, yeah. That's cool. Well, go get it. Get a big old dragon. Get a big eagle on your chest. Get a tiger. Who cares? You like it, get it. What's the purpose of music? Like, it's just bouncy noise. Yeah. I just can't think of anything I want to permanently inscribe into my skin. Then don't get a tattoo. Like, why are you acting like somebody's here with a gun to their head? I'm talking about tattoos I want to get. Like, if you don't want to get tattoos, you're not special because of that. Just don't get it. Get the red dragon on your back, yeah. I wonder if anybody's actually gotten that tattoo work done from that Red Dragon film. When he had, what's his name's, I can't remember the name of the artist, Red Dragon, like, tattooed onto his back. You owe me all. The first time, a few times that I watched that movie, I thought he was saying, because of the cleft palate kind of thick speech that they gave him, I thought he was saying, you owe me all. And then I remember I watched it with the subtitles on, and I was like, oh, that's way cooler. You owe me awe. The great red dragon and the woman clothed with the sun. Yeah. Thanks, Google. A side of my head tattoo? No, thank you. I would like a proper applause for my brave decision to not get tattoos. Thank you very much. Yeah. Paul, get a tattoo here. Paul, get a tattoo there. Paul, get a tattoo there. Do this, do that. I don't have any tattoos. It's just like, fuck. Never mind. Bunch of fucking crazy making fools. Never you mind. You're driving me insane. Yeah, it's like you're the only adult on a road trip. Yeah, I know. I feel like that sometimes. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Slug bug. Oh, he hit me. Shut up. No, we're not there yet. Be quiet. I'm bored. Turn the stream around. Got to keep on banning. Turn it upside down. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No. No McDonald's. Can we get McDonald's? No. We're going to eat when we get where we're going. I'm hungry. If you eat McDonald's now, you're not going to be hungry where we're going, and you're not going to get to eat actual really good food. I don't care. I just want like some nuggets or something to tide me over. Jeez, I haven't eaten in like 3 hours. We have McDonald's at home. But I want super soft fry. 3 super soft fry. I fucking love that story, by the way. I really genuinely fucking love that story. Paul, can you put Death Grips on the radio? Yeah, dude. What do you think of Death Grips, bro? Hey, Paul, you ever listen to Death Grips? But, Mom... Jeez. Never get anything. I thought we were going on vacation. I can't even get McDonald's. What kind of vacation is that? You're going to be eating way better food than McDonald's on this vacation. Well, whatever. I'm hungry now.
If one of those places was right there, I'd eat there, but it's not. Whatever, I guess I'll just starve or whatever. What do you care?
Honey, we are 2 hours away from where we will be eating. You will not starve.
You don't even know that. You don't even know when the last time I ate was. When was the last time I ate? When's the last time I ate? Yeah, seems like something a mom should know. Well, I'll have you know I didn't eat yesterday anything but a box of Wheat Thins. And that was just because I couldn't stand to have my stomach empty.
I made dinner yesterday.
I didn't like it. I don't like chicken cacciatore, I told you.
I do not remember you ever telling me anything about you specifically not liking chicken cacciatore.
Well, I did. It's because you don't listen. Anyway, whatever. I'll just starve. Never mind.
Honey, you're not going to starve. Quit being melodramatic.
Every time I say something, you accuse me of being melodramatic. What, because I'm hungry and I want to grab like a 50-cent thing of chicken nuggets? I'm being melodramatic? Jeez. Why don't I just never say anything?
Okay, honey, that's fine. Why don't you just never say anything?
Maybe I will. Maybe this is the last thing I'll ever say.
I have a feeling it's not the last thing you'll ever say.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
See, it wasn't the last thing you'll ever say.
Whatever. I'm gonna run away, yeah. I want to run away and go live with Dad.
Go ahead. If you want to live in your father's one-bedroom apartment with him, I'm sure there's room on the couch.
Oh, whatever. He told me I could come stay anytime.
And you can. Who's stopping you? You chose to come on this trip, Peter.
I didn't have a choice.
Yes, you did. I told you you could stay home and watch the cat. Take care of the house. You're old enough to do that now.
Whatever, like I'm just gonna stay at home and be bored all day. Like, of course I'm gonna go on the trip.
See? It's starting to get too real. This whole conversation is happening 30 minutes into the drive, yep.
Can I at least stop and get a smoothie then?
No, Peter, we're not going to stop and get a smoothie when we are 2 hours from one of the finest restaurants in Los Angeles.
Ugh.
You have bottled water back there, do you not, if you're thirsty?
I'm not just thirsty, I'm hungry.
Well, drink some water and it'll fill your stomach for a couple of hours while I take us to one of the finest restaurants in Los Angeles County.
Whatever. It's like water isn't even food.
Yes, but it does fill your stomach up.
Only for a little bit, and then it comes out as pee.
Or are teens so ungrateful, just underdeveloped brain? Well, yeah. Like they're old enough to feel like they want to be treated like an adult, but still too young to know how you get treated like an adult is to take care of yourself and be responsible for yourself. So they don't realize that they can't have what they don't want. Like, that's pretty much the problem with teens as I see it. They're all like big and grown up now and stuff, and they want to be like,
I want to be treated just like you do. I want the same respect you do.
but they do nothing to earn it. And so there's like a sense of entitlement that develops because they've yet to learn the school of hard knocks of like having to go to work every day and pay your bills and shit. So teens are just like, but it's good. Like that fucking, conflict is what makes kids move out, and then they learn, and then they become adults, and then they can have what they wanted at the price. Yeah, they've yet to figure out that they're not the king of the world, because that's what they are. Like, think about it. When you're a kid, like, your parents' lives have to revolve around you. Like, maybe some of you were very unlucky and had abusive parents who didn't do right by you. But if you had parents that were at least trying to raise you, like, you're the center of the fucking universe. And as a teenager, what do you think? That feeling dissipates? You know what I mean? No. So you've got all the fucking desire to be treated like a grown-up, but you're still living in a world where you're like little Prince Fartharoy or little Princess Guinevere or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? And it's like, and then you go out in the real world and you're just shabby fucking teenager looking for a job number 842. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh shit. That has to happen to people, and when it doesn't, it creates like destroyed human beings. Sorry to hear about your friend. I would advise that, like, well, I mean, you know, grieving in the chat is probably not the best thing to do. This chat's probably not the best place to come and grieve. Nor am I the best person to counsel you through your grief, probably. So I would say that, like, you need to reach out to other friends and commiserate. I mean, it's, you know, if that actually happened to you. I've had that happen to me. And that numb feeling is part one of the grieving process. And I don't know that you want it to play out on the internet. So go take care of yourself. Call some of your friends. Call some of your loved ones. And start processing what's happened. It's not because I can't help you. And this chat won't. I mean, if you just need distraction, feel free to chill. Maybe you're at that level. That's totally fucking valid, but I can't give you advice on that shit, bro. You gotta grieve. You gotta come to the realization. What's the purpose of grief? I don't know. The kind of deep-seated knowledge I think that all humans have, despite some of them being very religious and claiming otherwise, that when you're gone forever. And, you know, we form attachments with one another, various types of attachments, friendships, lovers, partners, you know, families. And when somebody that occupies that space in your life dies, there's some deep-seated part of you that knows that it's forever. And that's where grief wells up from. And, you know, a lot of religions will try and tell you to suppress that grief because they've moved on to some magical place, but that's just a coping mechanism so that you don't have to feel that. You really do have to feel that to get over it. You can't just set a person on a shelf and say, well, I'll see you in heaven then. You know deep down that's not fucking true. You know, they're gone forever. What they contributed now lives on in your memories and the stories that you impart about that person, and that's it. And eventually that person, like 99.9% of the planet, will be forgotten to time. It'll be like they never existed at all. And so it's incumbent on you to keep their memory alive for as long as you possibly can. But eventually that happens to all of us. Elephants do grieve. Primates grieve. It's definitely a natural thing. Dogs grieve for their owners. There's a natural grieving process that happens in a number of mammals. Dolphins grieve for the loss of their partners. So grief is something that is not exclusive to the hominid. Eyelash Paul. What? What's wrong? Is there something in my eyelash? Got a little crusty down there, maybe? Is that what you're talking about? Got a little bit of crusty down here. I can clean that up for you. Is that better? Whales grieve. Killer whales will grieve endlessly for the loss of their calf and look for their calf and try and nurse other calves in a pod and blah 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 blah. I mean, there's a whole grieving process for a lot of mammals. Why do you so strongly think there's no afterlife? No disrespect, but my psychedelic trips have made me think otherwise for the past few years. Your psychedelic trips, bro, here's the thing. It's just a matter of perspective. And I'm not trying to tell you I know for an absolute fact that nothing comes beyond this. Maybe something does. Maybe there is some level of energy or vibration or some shit that we continue on. Or maybe we are kind of like recycled back into the living world in some way, unaware that we'd lived before. I can't tell you those things don't exist. I can tell you that the thought of some paradise after death is just a coping mechanism to deal with the loss of loved ones and grief, and a coping mechanism also to deal with a natural fear of one day your heart stopping and you ceasing to exist. I don't believe that there's some fucking paradise. Now, if you want to say there's some psychedelic trip that taught you that there's something after life, I mean, you need to understand something. That trip took place in your brain. It did not take place in anything resembling physical reality. It was chemicals in your brain causing free associations of thought, visual and auditory hallucinations, depending on what you took and how much. All of these things are well documented. Other animals trip balls. So if you want to tell me that your psychedelic trip somehow proved to you that something comes after us, I'm going to tell you that you had a chemical experience in your brain and that's it. We are but sentient meat preserved for a short time in a black, endless void. I mean, it doesn't have to be all that. I mean, it is that blunt, but it doesn't have to be. You can ascribe meaning to your own life, and that's fun. You can pick something that you feel like is your life's work and pursue it, and that's cool. Life is an opportunity. It's not just like rotting meat and shit. I don't believe that. I've seen too much beauty in the world to think that life is just rotting meat. I've had too many beautiful moments with too many people to think that life is just rotting meat. I've loved and I've lived and I've seen, You create meaning in your own life. If you want to sit in a depressive hovel and not ever do anything and not ever look at anything, that's your choice. A lot of people choose to live that way, and a lot of people fucking are very productive as a result of that. Maybe you're that type of person. I can't allow myself to descend into that kind of thinking. I have to remember the beauty that's in the world. I have to. Because it's how I ascribe meaning to my existence. I am here, if for nothing else, than to experience something that no one else is experiencing. A moment. A hummingbird flying by that if I was not here, nobody would have remarked. That's my meaning. The connections I have with people, my wife, my family, my friends, that's my meaning. There's some beautiful, beautiful moments of laughter and tears and, reconciliation in my life. And those things are all so beautiful and meaningful to me. So life defining. You know, that's my meaning. You have to see it. I see both. I see the endless suffering. I see the endless predation and privation. I see it. My philosophy and my world outlook has a largely pessimistic bent, but that is separate from how I view my own existence. My own existence has beauty and love in it because I choose to have those things in my life. That doesn't mean that I ignore the endless predation and privation that typifies biological life on this planet. I'm not just a personal optimist. You guys heard an outpouring of optimism earlier when I was talking about Marshall Manson. Like, I don't fucking blow smoke up people's asses unless I feel they're really talented. I love the arts. That's part of my existence as well. I love seeing somebody talented get their due and proper. I love that I work a job where I get to meet those talented people and interact with them. So would you say that your pessimism is meta-ethical? I mean, my moral relativism is meta-ethical, yet I'm happy to advocate for normative ethics still. Sure. As I understand it, it's a little bit of dense 50-cent college language, but I think I grasp what you're saying, and sure. I would say that my pessimism and my ethic are separate. I mean, it certainly would have to be for me to view the world the way that I do. The nice thing about pessimism is that when you're wrong, the world is a better place. Sure. Should get a plaque and hang that up in my kitchen. I like salty Paul, not a big fan. I'm still salty as fuck. I'm angry as fuck. I still yell at everybody. Fill up the bucket with whatever you got. Make sure it's something that the bucket likes a lot. Doom 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 doom. Make sure it's something that the bucket likes a lot. Doom 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 doom. Got no head. It's a bucket with teeth, and it loves to dream, and it loves to sleep. Dude, nobody knows what band that is. It's not even a real obscure band, but it's an early work. It's an early work of a band that's known for a much later song, more well known for a much later song. But it's my favorite album. By the band. The Meat Puppets. Now you got it. If you want to listen to some awesome fucking music, get the Meat Puppets album Up on the Sun. Not Under the Sun. That's part of the song Scum that they became way better known for later in the 90s. One Direction. You've got One Direction out of here if you keep it up. I'm just letting you know. You got 1D out of here. Their first album is crazy too. Yeah, I really like early Meat Puppet stuff. Also early fucking I remember the name of their album and I'm the Flaming Lips. Psychiatric Exploration of the Fetus with Needles is an amazing fucking album. Little ostentatious title. So is what's the fucking album that has the spark that bled on it? If you've never heard, by the way, the Meat Puppets song, The Spark That Bled, oh my fucking God. That's such a beautiful song. Put headphones on, crank it up, and just kick back and close your eyes and listen to that song. Trust me. You won't regret it. Also, pop in the entire album, Yoshimi versus the Pink Robots. Smoke a doobie, kick back, crank it up, and let yourself be taken away. Or I think it's Yoshimi battles the Pink Robots, not Yoshimi versus the Pink Robots. But anyway. Yeah. Some good musical recommendations flying here today, but I'm happy to share some of that because it's like those songs are fucking great. I've always wanted to cover this Meat Puppet song called Vampires. Or maybe it's called Shaken. I think it's called Shaken. It's a great song. I don't listen to Murlocs, no. Is that a real band? Because that's kind of sad. Well, you've never heard The Spark That Bled, a skeleton popped out. Get high and listen to The Spark That Bled. I wish I could do it. Dude, I may do it right now. When I finish up this stream, I may go inside because I'm not super stoned, but I'm a little stoned. And I might throw on The Spark That Bled. I accidentally bumped my head and discovered I'd been bleeding. The Soft Bulletin. That's the name of the album that song is on, and that whole album is worth checking out. Flaming Lips, The Soft Bulletin. That's exactly the album. So get Meat Puppets Up on the Sun, get The Soft Bulletin, and Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots by The Flaming Lips, and thank me later. 10,000 emerald pools. All right, well, send me a link on Twitter or some shit. I'll check it out. Yeah, go chill with it, Squid. Enjoy. Do Germans call toilets the Poopen Farten? I think they do. Wer ist das Puppenfarten? I think that's how it works. Wer ist das Puppenfarten? No, your dad does. Good one. Good one. It's hip to be square. Dun, 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 dun. It's a song about the pleasures of conformity. I like a little Dire Straits, sure. One more album for you. I'm going to throw another recommendation at you. This is a tough one. This is a very emotionally honest album. Benji by Sun Kill Moon. Open your mind up to it and let it work its magic on you. It is one of the most emotionally forward, emotionally honest albums that's ever been written. It's basically just him telling very candid stories about his family and his life. Sun Kill Moon is amazing. It's one L in kill. You have it right, Lance, except for Sun Kill Moon. I think it's like a South Korean name or some shit, or a play on one. But that record, dude, don't listen to it if you're in a down place, because it's not one of those types of things. But if you're just looking to listen to a very mellow, emotionally honest fucking artist, you can't do better than that album. That album is fucking mind-blowing to me. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this.